Gentlemen, we've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times.
On the fence. I'm on the fence.
We don't need to talk about
we left hook from Yaoundé came and landed on him, you know. So
hello everyone, welcome back to episode 4 of the King's Court Meets. We are here with Anthony Orozco. Am I saying that correctly?
Perfect.
Brilliant. How are you doing, Anthony?
I'm good. Just got done with training, made some food, and now I'm relaxing talking to you. Happy to be here, by the way, on the 4th episode. Let's go.
Decent. We do a lot of podcasts just about MMA in general, sort of thing, but we're starting to take more time to speak to the fighters, speak to business people within the MMA world, and really shed a light to the UK and European audience. So we're appreciative of you taking the time. But for those that might not know Anthony, you will soon get to know Anthony. You're 9-1 as an amateur. Yep. I was on a 9-fight win streak. 8 of those 9 wins were finishes. 3 of those were first round finishes. 5 of those were second round finishes. You're a 2-time national champion wrestler. Yeah. 2-time Missouri Valley runner-up.
Yeah.
Nogi, blue belt, JJ, world champion in the IBJJF.
Yep.
You won the 2022 IMMAF Pan American Championships.
Yes. Yep.
Wow. And then you got to the quarterfinals of the 2023 World Championships IMMAF.
Yeah, that was a fun one. Yep. Those were all right. You nailed it.
Hey, you're a busy man.
Yeah. I'm in front of like a new audience. This is cool. Like your guys' audience is from where you said London and Britain. You're just covering that side of the world. So this is dope. Like I didn't even think about how good of an experience it would be to do this. But yeah, this is good. I'm glad to be here, dude.
Decent. Cheers. Well, it's talent like you, I think, that MMA fans around the world actually should pay attention to if they're not already paying attention to. And obviously you've done a lot in your very short career already. And you have big things planned. So now obviously we know that you've got a debut 2nd of June in Cage Warriors 155.
Yep, exactly. Cage Warriors 155 at 170 pounds welterweight.
At 170, right? Okay, which is different to what you've been fighting at before, which was at middleweight at 185. Yeah.
I was competing at 180. I competed at 185 for all 10 of those amateur bouts. In my college, at the end of my college career, I didn't really cut weight. I went 184 pounds, and I realized it was just way easier to get all those calories in and come in not cutting weight. And I handled business when I went up a weight class, actually. So I thought, let's try going 185 for amateur, and then 170 for pro. And it turned out so good so far. 9-1 at 185, and then we'll see June 2nd. We're 0-0. June 2nd. We're looking to be 1-0.
That's it. Let's get that dub. So that was the game plan. That was like literally the game plan since you were an amateur. You knew 185, then when you go pro, 170.
Absolutely. Yep.
Fair play. And it's good that actually that you're thinking that far ahead as well, sort of thing. I thought maybe it was just a decision that your team made going into Cage Warriors, but no, fair play. And I was listening to a couple of your interviews that you did, and I heard for your first amateur fight that you didn't have a camp, really. You didn't have a team. 2 of your mates were cornering you.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that. How did that come about?
Dude, so I was during COVID, my first amateur fight was October 29th, end of October 2021. Mm-hmm. And I think 2 months prior, I was just 2 months prior, wrestling ended and I had nothing to do and I didn't know what to do as far as competition and something to satiate the competition, right?
Yeah.
And I was talking to a guy at a bar and I was saying that I imagined myself as an MMA fighter, and he was like, bro, just do it. And he was the 5th person I had told this imagination to, but he was the first person to be like, bro, if you don't do it now, you never will, go for it. So that later that month, I signed up for my first fight, and I knew I had to sign up for the fight first to kind of kick me into gear and start going to practice every day and start a camp. because I was kind of like lazy at the time. Like I just got out of a grueling wrestling season. So I knew I just had to put my name on the contract. And so I signed the contract a month before the fight. That made me go to practice every day, or not practice, like a scheduled practice. That made me get my roommate to go to practice with me every day so we could like practice sparring and like just feeling it out, you know, because I didn't have a team. I was really hoping once I did fight there, I would find a team, which is what happened. But man, I signed up for that fight. And as you can see in the first fight, I really didn't know what I was doing as far as striking, but my wrestling like was clearly better and of the best already in the MMA scene out here. So yeah, that's what happened for my first fight.
That's madness. That's madness. And that was, I think it was the second round finish that you got in that first fight, if I'm not mistaken. So I wanted to ask you, actually, I was wondering, what did your two mates who were in your corner say to you mid round after that first one? Like, what kind of advice, what kind of cornering?
You know what's funny? I think all three of us had no idea what to do or what to say. Like when they came in, I don't remember what they said when they came in, but when we discussed it after the fight, I was picking their brains about like what they thought to say. And they were like, bro, I just wanted to know if you were like able to breathe or if you were even there. Like, I didn't know what to say. I just was there to make sure you were calming down. And I was like, no way, dude. So we all were just like chickens with our heads cut off. It was just a trio of fools, you know. we all thought we would be able to handle it, but we all didn't. Like, but it worked out.
You handled it. You did the business, and here you are now. But no, I agree what you were talking about, because your wrestling was just head and shoulders above your opponents in that one, and you literally mauled him. And so I'm guessing from college and from high school, I think you call it over there, you were wrestling. Was that your port of call? Did you know that you wanted to use wrestling in your future endeavors, or do you think in accounting major, is it, or do you specialized it? Accounting major is, yeah. What was your plan ideally before you thought about MMA?
So MMA hadn't crossed my mind until I graduated college. And the reason I started wrestling was actually because I didn't make the baseball team in high school. Yeah. So the tool that got me my degree and that got me to where I am today, which is wrestling, I didn't even think I was going to do that up until my freshman year of high school after I didn't make the baseball team.
Wow.
So because I didn't make that team, I had to try a sport that I could basically walk onto, you know, like I don't have any other, my dilemma was I don't have any other skills right now. So like, what can I just try and pick up and like work hard at? And wrestling was pretty much like the only option. Like you can't do that with football. You can't do that with tennis. You can't do that with any other sports that were offered. So I became a wrestler, and I had a natural talent for wrestling. So there were some hiccups throughout my high school career. I ended up switching high schools to excel like at a different local high school. And but that got me good enough to get a college offer, got me in the college circuit. And then 4 years later, kind of competed through all my 4 years of college, and then graduated, and bada bing, bada boom, here I am. But yeah.
There we go. You make it sound so easy in terms of like wrestling was the only like the thing you could do. It takes a lot of talent. It takes a lot of talent. And
so much talent and so much hard work, bro. Oh my God.
Yeah, madness. And so once you had that first MMA fight, was it Epic Fighting Championships that you had that on? You said that's where you found, or actually you were approached by the gym that you're at now, the Arena in California. Is that true?
Yes, that you have it straight. Yeah, Chuck Martinez and Vince Salvador, the two MMA coaches there, I think they're used to just looking up people that are on the fight card, and he was like, oh, who's this new guy? They looked at my name and they're like, oh, what the fuck? Like, what the hell? This is a guy to look out for. Oh my God. 2-time national champ. I mean, when someone enters the scene there, you pay attention, you know? So they paid attention. And then even at the weigh-ins, like the first hour that I was in the same room as the coaches, they came up to me and they were like just picking my brain about what's going on, who's my coach. And that's when I came clean about the plans for later that night, you know, just two friends. But yeah, that's where our relationship started.
Decent. And then, well, at the arena, you've got the likes of Liz Combi, which I believe trains out of there. Liz, Alex Trinidad, Bobby Winter, those chaps are okay. So you're surrounded by athletes that are experienced in the game and people that you can learn off as well.
Oh yeah.
What's training like? What's camp like in the arena?
Well, man, it's every day we meet once at like 4 p.m. It's just a medley of the arts training. But what's really been nice lately is that my schedule's recently opened up, so now I can go at 11 and kind of skill build with my striking coach, Vince Salvador. Well, he's the MMA coach, but he specializes in striking, and that's where we really get to build my skills. And if you look at basically just a testament to his skill building style, like if you look at my first 3-4 fights, we didn't really spend too much time on crisping up my striking, and we really just had to like, just the way that it worked out, I had to compete really quickly for each fight. So especially for Pan Ams, like I had to just go in there with my strengths and win, you know. But when we were for IMMAF Worlds, we had 6 months in between Pan Ams and my next fight, so we really got to work and we really started striking it up. And that's where you see a huge jump in my striking. And if you looked at my 3 most recent fights, that's I can really vouch that the skills were built, you know. So I guess what we're doing is specific training for each individual. Like Bobby Winter's good at jiu-jitsu. He was excellent at jiu-jitsu when he started MMA, so he's better at jiu-jitsu. Alex Trinidad was an excellent striker. He's helped me get better at striking, and then I'm the wrestling piece, and I've helped them get better at wrestling. Alex Trinidad's a good wrestler too, but I guess I've given more tips, you know, more insights. So we're always just like revolving ideas, and it's a good spot to be in. We're all like the same size too, so oh my god, the arena's perfect.
Oh, decent. Well, it sounds like it's a relationship where iron sharpens iron, that you're just helping each other sharpen your tools, getting better, really. So definitely a place to be at the moment. And you talked about the Pan Ams and the IMMAF Worlds as well. So in those competitions, you were fighting basically every day in the lead up to those competitions. Okay, so how much of a difference is that than to fighting like a normal amateur fight where you have however many months to prepare? How did you handle that?
So uniquely, I think that fighting only once is actually more different than IMMAF, Pan Ams, and Worlds. Like I'm used to fighting back. Because I wrestled, and so I like did wrestling 2-day wrestling tournaments, you know, or at least like had 5 matches in a day. So what's funny is like it sucks for me. I don't like only fighting like once every couple of months, you know. So like it's a unique perspective, I'm sure, but I'm used to like going through the ringer. So I think that was a big advantage that I had on a lot of opponents at Pan Ams and Worlds. That's what my coaches and I had thought. And yeah, it's actually interesting perspective, but that's, I think, what's about that.
Because for me as an outsider, not wrestled, not done any sort of MMA training before, for me it seems it takes a toll on you if you're fighting every day sort of thing. But obviously if you're coming from the wrestling background that you've been, then it's something that you obviously enjoy. So
thank goodness we had the puffy gloves and the shin guards, because that helps a lot, you know. That would have been a concern. I wouldn't have felt like, I don't think I would have done 3 to 5 MMA fights like back to back if there was not like better protection. So they got that, you know.
Yeah. And is that I'm guessing that's what they do in amateur fights, but I'm sure I've seen one of your fights where there was no shin guards at all. Does it depend on just what type of fight it is, or what's the situation?
Yeah. So when they're doing when they're doing the tournament style, they give you gloves. They require puffy gloves and shin guards. But at just if you're fighting at Epic, for example, or if you're fighting in California, you need shin guards for your first like 2 amateur fights.
Okay.
After that, if you're an amateur, you can fight with no shin guards.
Okay, I see.
It's unique, and it definitely is like, it gets like, what's the word? It gets sticky at times, like, you know, but yeah, that's like the rule. If for your first 2 amateur fights, shin guards. That's why I don't like the way it looks, though. I don't prefer shin guards. But if you looked at the IMMAF fights, I was okay with them because we had matching like top and bottoms. It just looked clean, you know. But shin guards normally don't look like very finesse, so I don't.
It's all about the fascia. It's all about the fascia.
Dude, I love swag. Like, some of my favorite thing, like the reason I like fighting, the reason I liked wrestling was because I have like a natural finesse sometimes. And like, if I do a move, and this is why I love recording my stuff, because if I can look back and see something that surprised even myself, I'm like, oh my God, that's awesome. You know, like surprising myself is one of my favorite things about like endeavors like this, you know? It's cool.
Yeah, definitely. Fair play. No, I like that. I like that. And then moving a little bit forward to where we are now, actually, Cage Warriors 155. So how did that come about? What do you feel when you got the call? What was going through your mind at that point?
So after IMMAF Worlds, after my most recent fight, it was a loss, but I was ready to go, ready to get back in there, because I just knew that the momentum that I had, like, I felt that tournament was amazing. Even that loss, I learned things, and even that loss, I felt that I did things that were right, you know. So I just wanted to keep the ball rolling, and but I knew I didn't want to keep the ball rolling in the amateur circuit. So it was just the right time to go pro. And Cage Warriors is just such a great organization. They're in San Diego. That's my backyard. I'm in San Diego too. Like, there's no better fit than Cage Warriors 155. Become their man, you know, become their guy that can fight on every card they have in San Diego, which I mean, I think I'll be that, and I'll be that for them excellently, you know.
Come on. So was it always on the cards, or was it once the IMMAF's finished, you got the call, or did you have it maybe in the bank a few months before?
No, I think leading up to IMMAF, leading up to the World's Tournament in February this year, we already knew, all right, we're ready to go pro. What my coaches and I see for myself is 3 or 4 fights, 4-0, 3 or 4 pro fights, go 4-0, and then discuss a super good contract with Cage Warriors, or look into fighting at the UFC Contender Series. So we've been planning this. This has been manifested. This is on paper in all of our notebooks. You know, this is the plan.
Come on, I like it. The roadmap, the blueprint. That's it.
If you don't have a blueprint, you just are lost. You're just like a chicken with your head cut off. You know, you don't know which way to go. But with a blueprint, we'll get there. We know the next milestone. You know, get through James Federuso. I think that's his name. My opponent. Get through that guy. Get through the next guy. Next guy. You know.
Come on, line them up. Keep on batting them down. I like it.
Yeah.
and with your opponent as well, have you looked into him that much? Do you take something out of you? I don't think he's fought since 2021. Do you take anything away from that or from that at all? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, that's a good question. One of my coaches is neurotic about studying guys. One of my coaches is neurotic about keeping me skill building, you know?
Yeah.
I'm neurotic about studying other guys. I am actually pissed that he doesn't have any footage from his 3 pro fights. I've been looking. I come to look late nights every now and then. I'm like, dude, is there something on, you know? Better Russo. But no, I only see footage from 2017, and I can't really say that I've given that a good digest, just because I don't think it's a fair representation of who he is today.
Yeah.
But dude, I go neurotic over things, so he's lucky. I would have a really good game plan right now. I would have a game plan, and I would know exactly what I was going to do to him.
Yeah.
At this moment, he's short, he's stout. I have a couple guys that size. I focus with them every day when we go in, And I think I'm just looking to wrestle the guy, finish him early. If you can't finish him early, he's going to be tired after those wrestling exchanges, and then I can let my striking just flow, you know?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you definitely know that you don't get paid by the hour, so we've seen that in your amateur fights. So let's get it done quickly. I like it. I like it. And
Yeah.
how's your weight doing? How's your weight doing now? Are you still have some core? Is it challenging for you, or is it you've done it before, you can do it again, sort of thing? Yeah,
that's probably what it is. Done it before. I weigh 185, so I'm 15 over right now. So that's a gnarly cut. I haven't done that in a minute since junior or sophomore year of college, so 4 years ago.
Okay.
But I mean, it's also a little easier because I can just suck off the weight really quick the day before, or like a couple hours before, you know, and then step on the scale and then rehydrate. Day before weigh-ins, come on, this is easy. That's how I look at it.
Nice. And it seems like everybody's a little bit different, because I watch obviously some of the Bellator Cage Warriors fights, the UFC fights, and people really struggle to get the weight off. So do you think it's all in technique, or do you think it's people's natural build?
That's a good question, but wow, that's a good question. I think that's the fork in the road, right? You get to decide if you fight at the closer weight where you're still getting calories up until the last 2 days, or you can fight at a lower weight. You see, I think over the last like 4 years of competition, I've decided to go up a weight, or right now it's just not going down too low.
Yeah.
Doing that just lets me build technique throughout the process. So I think it's the second one, just building your technique, you know. I think that's the best way to go. And I think some of the greats are showing that that's the way to do it, you know. Volkanovski, John Jones, GSP, you know, these guys didn't cut weight. John Jones is going up a weight. You know, like, yeah. Oh, who else? Colby Covington. He fights at 170. He weighs only 185. Quick cut. So yeah, I think the guys that we should idolize. Oh, Izzy Adesanya. I don't think he cuts too much.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go for the guys who have the most skill. Yeah.
Fair play. And did you see the fight on the weekend? Aljamain Sterling versus Henry Cejudo.
I did.
What was your thoughts going into the fight, and then what was your thoughts after it?
Dude, I was gung ho on Cejudo. I gotta be honest. You know, I was gung ho on the Cringe King. He was making splashes. It wasn't as cringy as normal. So like I was paying attention to the YouTube comments. People were loving on him, and I was liking him too. He was just funny this time around. He's also like he says, dude, he's got the mind, and the best guys go to work with him for a reason. But man, need to see. Did you see Conor McGregor's video?
Oh, I saw that. I was howling after that.
What was that? See, mate, you could have done this, but if you did this, dude, that fool was hilarious. But once I was watching it go down, I had thought, all right, I'll just huge. I'll just pressure for days. Cejudo, like, he's rusty, you know. Conor was right. Like, that weird little split stance lifting the leg, like that's not technical. But man, I did have triple C going into it, so I was wrong.
And do you think the judges were right? Did you see it as Aldo won the fight?
Oh, I wasn't. I might have been jumping around here and there, like, you know, for all. Yeah. I didn't have like an official scorecard in my head, but
Fair play. Yeah. No, an interesting one. It was an interesting one. Indeed.
Did you watch it all 25?
Yeah, I watched it. So I was split. We normally make predictions. I refuse to make a prediction on this one because I've slept on Aldo one too many times. And Triple C, I think when he was in his prime, I slept on him as well. But just the mind that he has, I just didn't know which way it was going to go. But I did have Aljo winning it once I watched it. I thought he won it 3-2. So, but hey, you know, I'm not a judge, am I, Sam? I'm just a spectator.
Dude, that's yeah. I've been trying to just study these fights and like really collect data points. Like, what are the moves that work the most amount of times? But that's a good one to watch because Aljamain's taken down a Olympic champ. Like, I got to figure out exactly what he's doing. Just to have those data points and like to understand exactly what works at the highest level. Like that's where I'm going. You know, that's where I see myself going. So have to be in tune with those moves. You know, but
massively. And then outside of MMA, what do you do? What do you get up to? What's Anthony like outside of the cage?
Dude, right now it's such a good day out today. It's been really nice summer days in San Diego. So I love to ride my fixie bike around the city. I live in this little neighborhood called North Park. It's flat, no large buildings. So I'm just riding around all the time, just being in tune with the city, you know, seeing like, oh, okay, way more people are out at this time than this time. It's one of my favorite things to do, just to, like, explore out here, you know. Some other things, man, I love video games. Eventually want to be like a streamer. Like I'd be so down to just stream and practice all day. Like, dude, that'd be the life. And then I think those are my two favorite hobbies. Just got a girlfriend this year too, so spends a lot of time with her. She loves the beach. We'll vibe out at the beach, sunset, and dude, that's San Diego life, you know. It's just chill, very chill.
It sounds ideal. I don't know what I'm doing here in England. It sounds ideal.
Yesterday even, I just like to be outside as well. So yesterday night, like the moon was so bright. I just went outside into like the patio with the patio seats, and I just sat down, laid up, and looked at the clouds. You know how the clouds like get really white at night sometimes when the moon's bright? Man, it was like the sun was out almost, and it was just so nice and cool. Like San Diego's just has me happy right now, you know?
Yeah, you'd recommend for
if you asked me that question like 3 weeks ago, I would have been like, damn, dude, I'm spending 40 hours a week auditing, accounting. So doing that job, it was really tough. It got in the way of like things that I wanted to do, you know? So I'm actually really like, I feel relieved that I'm not auditing at this accounting firm anymore. Like,
yeah, man. Let's hope those guys don't watch this then. Yeah.
Honestly, like, screw them. Like, I fucking hate. I despise, like, not really them. It's just like the work was demanding, you know, and everyone at the firm was like working 50 hours screen time a week. But
yeah,
so it's not them necessarily. It's just the work. Like, I don't like the work, you know. I don't like to sit down long.
Who does?
Yeah.
Indeed. So is that the plan then, ideally, that you fight often enough that you can do this full time without any other jobs on the side, or what's your thought process?
Dude, there's so many. I'm always trying to make a side hustle.
Nice.
My roommate too, like, we're always bouncing ideas off each other, but I think ideally, yeah, I'd like to be super active and active enough once I have like good enough contract to fight 4 times a year, maybe replace that salary that I had.
Nice.
Trying to be electric as well, dude. Give me some finishes, give me some 50K bonuses, you know, type of thing.
Wow.
But up until then, man, side hustles and living frugally, like I'd be down with that, you know. I like to relax. It's been good the last 2 weeks, so
get onto that streaming life. I tell you, like Mighty Mouse does it, Robert Whittaker does it as well. Get onto it. They'd love it, definitely.
Dude, I need to look into it a little more, but you're right. You're right. I need to start that because that's like exponential, you know. You can reach anybody. You can reach anybody if you have a sick video or like something's clipped, you know.
Exactly. And hey, in 6 months, a year's time, everyone will know the name anyway, so it's all good. quick skit. So we started to do these quick fire questions. So really quickly, I'll fire some questions at you, this or that. First thing that comes to your head. You up for it?
Dude, let's go. Yeah, that's cool.
Decent. Okay, so wrestling or boxing?
Wrestling.
Jiu-jitsu or boxing?
Jiu-jitsu.
Win by KO or win by submission?
Submission.
College parties or festivals?
Festivals. Oh my God, festivals.
Come on. Road trips or holidays abroad?
Road trip. Never been on a holiday abroad. Road trip.
Nice. Greatest middleweight, Adesanya or Anderson Silva?
Silva. Legend.
Who is more entertaining outside the cage? Sugar Sean O'Malley or Paulo Costa?
Paulo Costa. 100%. Good question.
Is Henry Cejudo the greatest combat sports athlete of all time?
I don't mind giving that to him. I'm down with that.
Yeah, nice. What's worse, cutting weight for 185 or cutting the weight to make welterweight?
Welterweight.
Okay. What's harder, your counting exams or MMA fight camps?
Counting exams, bro. Oh.
Nice. Got a little bit more of an insight of of Anthony there. No, appreciate that.
Dude, so many of those questions were like, those were deep knitted, bro. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know. Like boxing, you know, I'm like, I wouldn't put my sister in boxing over jiu-jitsu. Like, I'd rather if she could snap someone's leg who's trying to abduct her, snap the leg, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know if she's going to be able to knock someone out clean flush on the chin. Like, maybe she gets some clean flush on the chin, but I think she could snap a leg easier than knocks a man out, you know? So, jits.
That's true. That's true.
Quick logic bomb.
Wait,
I'm playing a lot, bro. Oh my God, that's my least favorite thing. That was
like I say, the question is just to make you think, you know, to pull some deep things out of you. So I've got a question for you that was actually from a previous fighter based in the UK that we interviewed in episode 2, actually. So if you could pick your own, should we say, fight name, what would it be and why?
my own fight name?
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know, but one thing that I don't know. I've never put thought in the nickname because I just know that shouldn't be self-given.
Yeah.
But I will comment on if it was something along the lines of Darth Rigatoni, like Mikey Musumeci's, that would be sick. Like, I think that's clever and new and fresh. But I don't have a nickname in mind, man. I wish I did, you know, or else I would have coined it a while ago. But that new nickname, Darth Rigatoni, is hilarious.
It's a strong one, right?
Bro. Dude, whoever came up with that was like, yeah, bonus check for him. Fudge.
Decent. And I'm guessing you don't have a nickname anywhere at the moment in time. Is that something that's hopefully to come, that somebody coins your name for you?
Yeah, dude, hopefully to come. Hopefully like a clever YouTube comment or something in the future once on me, but at this point, nothing.
Decent. Well, if anyone's watching this, let's get some comments down below. We'll put it on Insta as well. The best one, hey, you might even consider it.
Oh, for sure. Let's go. That's awesome.
No, it's nice. And then the last question for me, again, so a question that we want to ask you. Well, we want to ask you to ask the next fighter that we have, not knowing who they're going to be. Most likely it will be a guy. But what would that question be? Could be anything.
Oh. Who would they rather fight? 10 mini horses or 1 Anthony Orozco?
Come on. I like it. Hey,
would-
I'll
Yeah.
indeed. Hey, I'll be sure to ask that question definitely.
Or wait, did you change it? Or
Yeah.
no? Wait, no. Horses aren't really battle tough. Who would they rather fight? 10 mini chimpanzees or one Anthony Orozco?
Okay, nice. I'll be sure to ask the question and I'll send you the response.
Bro, that's hilarious.
Oh, what a guy! What a guy, Anthony. I've been really enjoyed this. Thanks for taking the time to speak to us. All the best in your pro debut at Cage Warriors 155. I think you've got what it takes definitely to get the dub and to have a long and successful career. Thank you so much, my friend.
Bro, thank you so much as well. And like, if I ever make it out, I think Cage Warriors might be down to make me fly out. At least on that side of the whatever it's called, on that side of the world, and maybe we can meet face to face one time. But I really appreciate the interview.
Definitely, yeah.
Dude, let's go. Well, looking forward to it.
Brilliant. All the best, man. Take care.
As well. Talk to you later.
All right, gentlemen, we've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times.
On the fence. I'm on the fence.
We don't need to talk about that.
Left hook from Yaoundé came and landed on him, you know, so